One last one. There's been a bit of controversy this week on the other side of the pond. Prime Minister Johnson and the actions of him and his staff. A report came out this week. I'm wondering, is the president aware of what's going on? Is he at all worried that political controversy is impacting the U.S. and U.K.'s ability to sort of press President Putin on the Ukraine situation? And has he ever been ambushed by a cake?
Has the president ever been ambushed by a cake? Not that I'm aware of.
What his reaction is sort of to this controversy that's been blowing up.
I have not spoken with him specifically about the reports in the UK, but what I can tell you is that he is confident in the important partnership we have with the United Kingdom, the role they play as an important partner in making clear to Russia the unacceptable nature of the buildup of troops and their bellicose rhetoric as it relates to Ukraine, and that certainly has not changed, despite cakes in anyone's faces. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Starting quickly just with Ukraine, you guys keep holding out this diplomatic path for Vladimir Putin, but as he noted today, you've already rejected both of his kind of central demands. So what exactly is this a diplomatic path to, if you've already rejected what he's asked for? And can you kind of sympathize with the fact that he may be feeling like he's strung along and wants to pursue things on another battlefield?
As in invading a sovereign country? Should be the alternative, right? Right? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Perhaps.
Well, here's our view. We don't know what President Putin is going to do. And it is our responsibility to, and it's an imperative, to keep the door to diplomacy open. That does not mean that we are going to not stand by our own values, which includes our belief that, and the belief of NATO countries that it should be up to NATO members to determine who is able to join NATO, and that the door to that should be open. So if that is one of their claims, we have reiterated the same thing privately that we have reiterated publicly. In our view, do we have sympathy? I mean, this is, Secretary Blinken has used some of these analogies in the past, but when the fox is screaming from the top of the hen house that he's scared of the chickens, which is essentially what they're doing, that fear isn't reported as a statement of fact. And as you watch President Putin screaming about the fear of Ukraine and the Ukrainians, that should not be reported as a statement of fact. We know who the fox is in this case. We have seen the buildup of troops at the border. We have seen them move troops to Belarus on another border. And our role in the United States is to work with other countries around the world to keep that door to diplomacy open, because certainly all of our preference is to de-escalate and to prevent an invasion from happening. But that is up to President Putin to make that decision.
Do you think a possible end game here could be just mutual de-escalation and then live to
de-escalation in what regard? Mutual de-escalation. Tell me what you mean by that.
I mean, I suppose it's up to you to define, but I mean, you guys have asked for him to move troops back from the border.
But here's what I'm getting at. It's a mistake, I would say, to define things by the terms that President Putin is defining things. This is a country and a leader who has used chemical weapons, who has invaded multiple countries in the past several years, who has taken aggressive steps on the global stage on many occasions. So when we talk about mutual de-escalation, Russia has 100,000 troops on the border. They are the aggressor. We are working with NATO countries to make sure they feel secure in this moment. NATO is a defensive alliance. It is not the same thing, and I think we need to be careful about comparing them as the same thing.